Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about mitosis division. We are talking about mitosis division. This is division under microscope. One cell divided into two cells. Let's learn details what happened exactly in this division, in mitosis division. This is a nucleus. This is a nucleus, and this is a cell. What happened in this phase? We call this phase interphase. This phase we call interphase. What happened in this interphase? Copying DNA. Copying DNA. Before mitosis begins, chromosomes are copied. Before mitosis begins, chromosomes are copied. The next phase is called prophase. The next phase is called prophase. What happened? Let's predict together what happened in this phase. Mitosis begins. This is chromosomes. This chromosome, all of these chromosomes. What happened to these chromosomes? Chromosomes condense from long strands into rod-like structure. Condense from long strands into rod-like structures. This phase, we call it prophase. Next phase, we call it metaphase. Next phase, we call it metaphase. Let's think together what happened from the pictures. This is chromosomes. Chromosomes are paired, become chromatids. Chromatids, pairs align at the cell equator. So it aligns at the cell equator. This is the first thing. Second thing, can we think together what happened? Is there any nuclear membrane? Excellent, no nuclear membrane. So nuclear membrane is dissolved. Nuclear membrane here is dissolved. So what happened in metaphase? Two things happen in metaphase. The first thing, the chromatids paired align at the cell equator. It's paired and aligned at the cell equator. This is the first thing. The second thing, the membrane dissolved. The second thing, the membrane are dissolved. The membrane is dissolved. Let's see what happened next. Yes. Can we predict together what happened? What happened to the chromatid? The chromatid separate and moved in the opposite side of the cell. The chromatids separate and move to the opposite side of the cell. This phase, we call it anaphase. This phase, we call it anaphase. Next phase, let's see what happened to the chromatid. Let's see what happened to the chromatid. Chromosomes are unwound. Chromosomes are unwound. And the nuclear membrane forms again. The nuclear membrane forms around each set of chromosomes. The nuclear membrane is formed around each set of chromosomes. The second thing, the chromosome unwound. The chromosome here unwound. This phase, we call it telophase. We call this phase telophase. Let's see the next. Next phase and the last phase, we call it cytokinesis. We call last phase cytokinesis. Let's predict what happened in the last phase. The cell pinches into two cells. It pinches into two cells. In the plant cell, there are a cell wall. So the cell wall form plates between two cells. It form plates. In the cell that link a cell wall, the cell pinches into two. And in the cell that have a cell wall, a cell plate form between the two new cells. Two new cells. Let's have a quizzes for this lesson. I want you to imagine that cell, when the cell is divided into two cells, what happened? Like a strawberry. This is the first interphase, and this is prophase, and this is prophase, metaphase, Anaphase, and divided into two cells. Then it's divided into two cells. Now you can understand what happened in these under microscope. You can now understand what happened in this microscope. Let's have a quizzes now. Let's read together. The nuclear membrane is dissolved, paired chromatid align at the cell's equator. So which picture here, the chromatid align in the equator? Yes, excellent. So in metaphase, the chromatid align. So the nuclear membrane is dissolved. So here, no nuclear membrane. Paired chromatid align at the cell equator. We call this phase metaphase. We call this phase metaphase. Next sentence, mitosis begins. Chromosomes condense from long strand rod-like structure. So let's get back to the pictures. Which pictures have a chromosomes condense into rod-like structure? Yes, excellent, this picture. So we can connect these pictures. This phase, how can we call this phase? We call this phase, yes, excellent, prophase. We call this phase prophase. Prophase. Next sentence, before mitosis begins, chromosomes are copied. Before mitosis begins, chromosomes are copied. We have two sentences now. Chromatids separate and move to the opposite side of the cell. So this is the remain picture. Is there chromatids separated and move opposite side of the cell in this picture? No, no. This picture is before. This picture is before mitosis begins, and chromosomes are copied. So let's connect this sentence to its picture. What's the name of this of this phase? What's the name of this phase? Yes, excellent. Interphase. Interphase. We call this phase interphase. Next, read this question, this sentence. In cell that lack cell wall, the cell pinches into two. Yes, in cells that have a cell wall, the cell plate forms between the two new cells. Which picture represents two new cells here? Yes, these pictures. Let's connect together. What we call this phase? What we call this phase? Yes, excellent. Cytokinesis. Cytokinesis. Next sentence, before mitosis begins, chromosomes are copied. Before mitosis begins, chromosomes are copied. Is there any picture represents this sentence? No, no. There's no picture represent this sentence. So next sentence, a nuclear membrane forms around each set of chromosomes. Yes, here, nuclear membrane here forms around each set of chromosomes. The chromosome unwind, here chromosomes are unwind. So this sentence represents this picture. What we call this phase? Let's think together what we call this phase. Yes, excellent, telophase. We call this phase telophase. The last sentence, the chromatids separate and move to the opposite side of the cell. Here, chromatid separate and move to the opposite side of the cell. So we connect this sentence to these pictures. What we call this phase? What we call this phase now? Let's think together. Yes, excellent. We call this phase anaphase. 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 Thank you very much, and I hope to you always success and high score. Thank you.